Hi everybody and welcome back to your latest daily Newcastle United news right here on the Toon Review YouTube channel. My name's Paul. Thank you once again for tuning in. It's all about transfers today and that excites me, guys, because we know that Newcastle United are going to get that wallet out, blow the cobwebs off it and open it up and buy some players this summer. We know we need to enhance the squad. Whatever European competition that we find ourselves playing in next season, we're still going to need a big squad. And if anything came from Saturday's game against Aston Villa, of course, it was how weak our bench is. You know, when you see Villa bringing on Rashfords, etc., and we just didn't have the quality. Willock is bang out of form, hasn't done it for a while now. You know, Longstaff, enough said. Wilson's body's shutting down. We don't have the quality. We need to improve the squad. And for me, that's what's going to happen in the summer. It's not going to be all about the elite signings, the world-renowned names. Because we also need to bring in signings who are going to improve the squad so that when we do rotate next season, we're actually replacing quality with quality instead of replacing quality with average or poor players. And for me, Eddie Howe will do that. He'll bring in the quality that we need. This is a big, big summer for Paul Mitchell as well. This is a chance for Mitchell to prove to all the Newcastle United fans exactly what he can do and exactly why he was brought in to Newcastle United in the first place. So that's what it's all about for me. Obviously, all these names linked with us, they're not all going to sign, but a couple might. You never know. And I think that's what people need to bear in mind, that it's all about a squad build as well. The first player is Matteo Guendouzi from Lazio. He has been linked in 5 or 6 reports that I've seen today with Newcastle United. Apparently, he has been a long-term interest of the club. I'm not sure whether we've ever done him on a transfer show, but I can remember a couple of times that he has been linked with us. Now, is Guendouzi a player who is going to burst into the first 11 straight away? No, of course he's not. Because, as one of the reports suggests, Newcastle have arguably the best midfield three in the Premier League right now. And for somebody to come into the squad and expect to burst into the top three, that's not going to happen. But what Guendouzi will give you is a lot of experience. Now, he's only 25, so he's at a really good age, and he's got really, really good experience. He's had a Premier League, Serie A, European games, internationals. This guy is a very talented footballer. People might not agree with me on that, but when you're talking about improving the squad, is he better than what we have at the minute to come off the bench? The likes of Willock, Miley. I'm not going to say anything on Miley because I think Miley's still improving and going to be a top player. Or Longstaff. Now, again, a few of the journalists have quoted that Guendouzi could be looked at as a replacement for Sean Longstaff, who is expected to leave the club in the summer. I wouldn't argue with that at all. I think that would be a great replacement for Longstaff. Because again, we're talking about replacing quality with quality when you rotate the squad. And if we're getting somebody like Longstaff out of the squad and bring Guendouzi in, I'm not going to be against that at all. Now, there is a couple of the reports suggesting that Newcastle have made Guendouzi their top summer target. I think that's a bit far out. I don't think for 1 second that Guendouzi is the top summer target for Newcastle United at all. But I guess I could see why Mitchell would be interested in bringing in Guendouzi and Eddie Howe. Guendouzi's got a fantastic work rate. He likes the physicality as well. So I'm not too opposed to that, to being linked with Guendouzi. Let me know what you think. Have you seen enough of Guendouzi in the past to say yay or nay? Because I think, you know, for a 25-year-old, I'm pretty, well, I mean, I don't know. I'm interested to know what you guys think about him because he is somebody that would certainly improve the squad, in my opinion. But let me know in the comments below. Now, one player that has certainly been banded around the top clubs in the Premier League for next season is Ipswich Town's Liam Dilap. Ourselves, Manchester United, Liverpool, Chelsea, all interested in him. But it could be Newcastle United that activate his transfer release clause for the summer. Because we can relegate Ipswich at the weekend. And if Ipswich are relegated, that activates his relegation clause for 30 million quid. Now, Dilap, 12 goals this season in the Premier League. He's a tank, isn't he? He's a really, really good talent. Now, a lot of people are worried about Liam Dilap and thinking, you know, is he going to be a one-season wonder, etc.? I don't think so. I think, you know, he's 22. He's still got a bit to learn, don't get me wrong. But Eddie Howe, I mean, what could he do with Liam Dilap? Callum Wilson expected to leave the club in the summer. I'm not subscribing at all to these crappy rumours going around that we're going to offer Wilson a new contract. I think if we did that, it'd be the biggest farce I've ever seen in football. And I don't subscribe either to people saying, yeah, but we'll get a transfer fee for him. Who's going to pay a transfer fee for Callum Wilson? Nobody. Give our man, with his injury record as it is, who's going to pay a fee for Wilson? It would be lunacy to offer him a new contract. And this is where I've been saying for so long that Newcastle need to be ruthless now and say thank you for all you've done for the club, absolutely. But it's now time to move on, and we as a club need to move on from you as well. Would Liam Dilap come to Newcastle? Who knows? It depends how we sell the club to these players. But for 30 million quid, I think he's an absolute bargain in the release clause, because I've seen him a few times this season. This kid is a talent. And let's be fair, he's got 12 Premier League goals in a team that has been near the bottom of the season, near the bottom of the league most of the season, and struggling to get out the relegation. So I think he's a really good player. He doesn't want to go back into the Championship. I think the Ipswich manager's already come out and said that if Ipswich do go down, it's 99.9% certain that Liam Dilap would leave. But he'd also leave by handing Ipswich 30 million quid, which they can use to improve their squad to try and bounce back to the Premier League. It all makes sense. But I think, Dilap is somebody that could learn from Eddie Howe. He can learn things from Isak. He's a very different player to Isak. He's very physical, Liam Dilap, where, Isak isn't. So they're two very different players. But it would enable us to rotate again. And we know we're asking far too much of Alexander Isak at the minute. And we're not even in Europe this season. So next season, we are in Europe. Depends what competition. But we still got a lot of games next year. But I think, again, we're going against the big boys for these names. And we have to sell the club. But Liam Dilap? I think so. I'd love to see him at Newcastle. Now, another player who I spoke about in a news show last week or the week before, linked with Newcastle, was Tyler Diblin, of course, at Southampton. So many right-wingers are being linked with Newcastle, and rightly so, because that is an area of the pitch. We proved that on the show last night, that needs improving, because Jacob Murphy's the only one there. He's the only one there, and we can't expect Jacob just to keep going and going and going. Again, it's about squad rotation. But I think Newcastle are genuinely looking for a player for the right wing to start games. And Jacob Murphy be the squad player. And I think it's fair to say that, despite how well Jacob's done. There is better players than Jacob Murphy out there who Newcastle could look at. Now, Mbuemo's one of them. There's a few others being banded around as well. But then Tyler Diblin. Now, the Telegraph came out with a report about a week and a bit ago that he was Southampton were going to ask 100 million quid for him, or in excess of, which is absolute nonsense. Nobody's going to play that for a 19-year-old. I mean, unless you're Yamin Lamal or someone like that. But Tyler Diblin, look, he's done really well this season. He's really proved himself in a terrible, terrible Southampton side. But this guy has stood out a mile, and that's why I think he can generate good money. Now, according to the reports today, Southampton would probably look closer to 50 million quid for him. Now, that's still an awful lot of money. But sometimes, as a young English guy, a star at his club at the minute, Southampton, you look at the players that Southampton have brought through in the past, the likes of Walcott, Bale, etc. This is another one. Tyler Diblin is another one that's come through that academy. So do I think he's worth paying for? Hell yes. But are Newcastle United going to invest 50 million quid in a right winger? Or could they negotiate with Southampton to get a bit of a lower deal? I don't know. But again, would Tyler Diblin come to Newcastle? Hell yes. And look, I'm not being big-headed sitting here saying that all players would come to Newcastle, because we're at that stage now where we can say that players want to come to Newcastle. The long, dark days of that black cloud hanging over Newcastle United when Mike Ashley was in charge, that's all gone. We are now appealing to players to come and play for us. So I'm not sitting here big-headed saying, oh, yes, they would play for us, because I know they would. You can see that Newcastle's stature is rising now. And other fans can laugh at that or think I'm talking nonsense. I know in my heart as a Newcastle fan that we are much more appealing now. We're up at the right end of the table. We're challenging for cups. We're winning cups. We're challenging for Europe. Let's go for it and let's try and get these players in. Why not? Now, finally, another striker link with Newcastle United today is Strasbourg striker Emanuel Omega. Now, Omega, however you want to prove it or say it, is 6'5". This guy's a beast, and he's only 22 as well. So, when you look at a lot of the players linked today, they're all under 25 or 25 and under. And again, that's kind of Mitchell's remit. He doesn't want to bring too many players in that are over the hill, but not, on the wrong side of 25 maybe. But again, in his remit. Now, he's got 13 goals for Strasbourg this season in just 25 appearances. So he knows where the back of the net is. Again, people will say things about League 1. I saw a couple of videos yesterday, actually, really having a go at League 1 and laughing at the quality. Do you know what? I watch a lot of League 1, and the quality's there. I mean, if you've got that kind of bias that the Premier League is the be-all and end-all of the world, then I think you're a little bit silly. Yes, the Premier League is a wonderful league. We all know that. But don't slag off other leagues, because they've got some talent there. They've got some real talent. And listen, again, we're looking for somebody to step in. And would this be a better option than Liam Dilap? Because obviously Omega would come in, work with Isak as well. Wouldn't probably expect to be number one starter. Liam Dilap would probably expect to be up there starting a lot of games. I don't know. But this seems more of an option for Newcastle United, the type of player that Newcastle United like to go for. But again, just in the reports, guys. But it's exciting for me. It's exciting for Newcastle United fans, surely, that we are now looking forward to this transfer window and overhauling this squad and seeing what we can do. I know it depends on what European competition we're in. That's just normal. Are we going to attract the same players being in the Europa League if we were in the Champions League? Not the elite. Not the elite. But when we're talking about squad building players, yes, because they still want to play in Europe. But I think we'll be in the Champions League next season. So I think we can attract the better player anyway. But that's just confidence kicking out. And I can't believe I'm saying that after we've just been thumped 4-1 at Villa. But hey, this team is better than what we showed at Villa. I know it is. You know it is. So we've got a lot more to come. But there you go, guys. Let me know in the comments, as per usual, what you think of the reports. Is there any players there that I've mentioned today that would really, you would look to bring into Newcastle United and think they do a fantastic job for us? Let me know in the comments below. But thank you very much for watching, guys. As usual, if you have enjoyed it, hit that thumbs up button because that is really important to the channel. And of course, if you're new, please do subscribe. It is free to do so. It's a massively upcoming channel, this, with a fantastic community. Please hit the subscribe button. Free to do so. But don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload or a live show. And of course, our new merch store is now open. That's the toonreview.com for all your merch. Hoodies, hats, all sorts on there. Get yourselves on there. Have a good look. TheToonReview.com. But in the meantime, guys, enjoy the rest of your day, folks. Take care.